Yes!
That should be on the, the
Yes,
intro.
this
Just
will
like,
be the intro.
Wait. Let's do it right. Let's do it right.
Welcome back to the 99, where we are focused on brewing a better competitive commander. I'm your host, Patrick Marlett.
too much fire. 3 little cakes. Justin Rodriguez.
Too much fire? Here's the water. This is Ernesto Salazar.
And guys, this is the Brew Year's Eve episode. We're working our way into 2020. Justin's not looking too healthy these days.
Oh no, I'm great. I'm great. That's right. I just used up like all of my jutsu. All my chakra.
But guys, instead of taking a look back at the previous year, I mean, that's why all of our videos are there for you. I actually want to talk about the future of Commander, our hopes and expectations for the new year, what we're hoping to see from our products, and hopefully, maybe Wizards R&D is watching, and we'll get to have our input taken into account. Very doubtful, but you know what? When enough voices come together, maybe, just maybe, White will get draw this year. Who knows?
White will get drawn.
Red has draw. It has rummage. Enjoy that. You can frantic search.
My life is a lie.
That's blue.
White will give life.
Huh?
White
is going to give you life. Yeah.
So you can draw. So you can
Instead, like the opposite of ad nauseum, you just gain life and draw cards.
Wait, what?
Exactly.
What? Yes.
If you gain more than 10 life this way, you can't win the game this turn. How about that? I mean, that's a stupid thing. No one's gonna. You'll still play that. You'll always play that.
It's an instant.
If it was
I just throw my deck
No,
end
White
of turn.
would get sorcery.
So guys, we're not going to start with that topic. The thing I do want to discuss first, that we have 4 topics we're going to lay down today. And of course, if you want to join along in this discussion, you can do so in the comments section. But you can also do so on our Instagram, Twitter, and Discord, specifically Discord. All those links are down below. But the first thing I want to talk about before we move on to 2020 and our expectations is CommandFest. So this was the first year of a Commander-centric event. 2 out of the 3 of us had the joy of going there. Hi guys, if you saw us from CommandFest, it was a joy playing with you.
What's this guy?
Justin, he couldn't make it.
Couldn't make it.
He followed us in his spirit, so it's fine.
But 2020, I'm very hopeful that CommandFest will improve. 2019, however, what do you think?
It was underwhelming, aside from some specific cards, say Dockside, all that stuff, that we already talked in the review, which probably will like here or somewhere where Patrick will put it in the...
What? No, I'm not going to link it.
No?
But CommandFest itself...
You lazy...
What? No, you guys
person.
Search through the vault. There's only like 30 plus episodes of the show.
You mean the C19?
I'm talking about CommandFest.
Oh, Command... You said C19, that's why I was confused. Anyway, CommandFest was a lot of fun. It was great.
You had a good time.
Not underwhelming?
Let's get to that part later.
Okay.
But if we go to the pros, I had so much fun. For me, it was great. I met so many people. People even that are fans from the channel that I've never heard of just walked us and like, hey, you're from the 99. I was like, that was pretty dope.
You're that Joker guy.
Who took my Noramea credit?
This guy. Every single time. Please continue to thank me for Narumea. Every time I go to an event now, someone comes up to me and thanks me for Narumea. And
That was great.
Fantastic, I have to say, because I never play Blue Constructed, so...
And it happened twice.
And it happened twice.
In SCG and in DC.
I don't know why I'm accredited for it, but I think it's right. But anyway, on the whole, I really enjoyed myself too. Again, shout out to everyone that came by and said hello to us. Thank you for watching the program. It means a lot to us. However, the event as a whole, I think the 3-day pass situation made that a little difficult for some folks to financially go out and attend the events, because it was $100 to actually participate in any of the paid-for events.
Just
and just to get in. And you get vouchers to play games, but they're separate from the listed events. And I think there was a general confusion there as to what those vouchers were used for.
What was the breakdown? You got a foil Soul Ring.
Yeah.
And you got how many tickets for events?
I think you got 4 or 3 vouchers. It was 3 vouchers.
Okay.
2 vouchers, there we go.
I think. So the vouchers were for pickup games that were organized by their staff on site. So if you had 4 people that wanted to make a pod, you can either sign up for a competitive or a casual pod. Casual was what we found to be the way to go, because you'd get more tickets that way. Exactly. So we're just like, let's just have a fun casual game, put all of our tickets together. You know, Savala wins 5 minutes later, we all just get a bunch of tickets. And then we split the earnings to get packs, is what we wound up doing. But those vouchers weren't used for anything else.
No.
At all.
Just price wall, and that's it. We didn't Just what's
I
the
forget
point?
if there was a way you could transfer the vouchers into tickets too. Maybe that was listed that way. But ultimately, we wound up just doing a bunch of casual pickup games to get tickets. And then we just enjoyed the rest of the time playing pickup games with random people because there's plenty of free-to-play spaces. But again, you had to spend, if you want to go to attend all 3 days, $100 to get in. So I question the value there, particularly because, yes, when the foil Sol Ring came out, a lot of people like the art, a lot of people don't like the art. Regardless, it's a promo card of a very well-used card, and it was $90 to $100 on average, and the prices keep going down on
Oh, we're
that.
like
So,
half of that now.
yeah, so it's like, are you really getting $100 worth of value out of this?
And
I don't know.
And they already said they're going to give them in every single CommandFest.
Oh, they're gonna
Oh,
be
really?
everywhere.
Okay,
Yeah.
so it's just going to depreciate even
Yeah, it's
further.
gonna be even down. So if you have any like one, I don't know, up to you if you want to keep it or sell it, it's gonna go down in value. That's for sure. And you can get one for cheaper later. I don't know how long this will last. Because if we take into account what happened in the previous Commander Fest and this one, attendance was kind of low. I saw a huge gap of tables.
We went all
and
3
chairs.
days too.
We went all 3 days,
Yeah.
and I saw a huge gap. Probably like half the venue was empty, and that was a huge like breaking point
I
for
think
me.
part of that was due to the cost again. I think
Yeah,
the
yeah,
single day
yeah,
pricing and
yeah.
the 3 day pricing.
Sure.
Obviously, the Friday event, that was when it was the most barren. A lot of people, I'm assuming, maybe there was work or school or whatever the situation was. But over the weekend, that's when it started to fill in the gaps. But even still, I think that if they moved away from this voucher system, even just gave you one ticket free entry into a paid event for your dollar, it would have been more favorable. I think they would have seen more people come in because then you're actually getting something that's perceivably valuable, which is entering in these competitions, which is presumably what you want to do when you go to one of these events, especially if you don't know anyone else there. It's going to give you a good way to enter several pods if you're successful and mingle and play with other players instead of just rummaging around and trying to find people, which wasn't difficult, I don't think, for us at least. And in most situations, folks came up to us to play games, not to be a braggadouche, but that's just how it worked out for us. But I think for other players who aren't going with their friends, it would have been great to get a voucher that puts you in a paid game instead of a one-off pod with random people off to the side. I don't know. That's my takeaway. It didn't feel like my $100 was getting me very far there. And also, so far as the events were concerned, I think the naming conventions they used were very confusing because there was casual games, and I have it here. They
casual,
named,
competitive, and CDH for some difference.
yeah,
Which I
and there was
really-
Oathbreaker too, and Brawl.
What did you even see, Brawl?
No, I didn't see Brawl.
I know Breaker. Breaker, I didn't see anything.
You didn't
So-
see Outbreaker at all?
No,
either?
at all.
Okay.
Maybe it was a me problem because I didn't go
We
around
reserved
too much.
the Oathbreaker table when we were playing. We realized that we were at the Oathbreaker setup.
Nobody
We were
was there.
just throwing. Yeah, no one came up and said, "Do you mind if we play Oathbreaker here?" Because I don't think anyone was really playing Oathbreaker there. So that's interesting information for you guys if you were looking to get into that format. But here's the definition for competitive commander. Competitive commander joins the fun and politics of casual commander with the goal of winning. Yes, because otherwise we're just looking to lose. If you're used to playing traditional commander but interested in competing for prizes, this is for you. That's competitive commander.
Wait. It says competing for prizes, but did casual not get prizes?
I would
They
assume
should
you
get
get tickets
prizes.
as well.
But you play casual, right?
What they're suggesting is that no, we played the pickup games
Different.
via our vouchers. We didn't
Okay.
play any casual games
Sure.
per se. We didn't pay for any casual games.
There's the fact you're missing is that aside from the vouchers and everything, they had set up events that you could say, oh, I'm going to play casual, I'm going to play competitive, or I'm going to play CDH.
Got it.
And you can pay extra to get into those events.
Okay.
Which adds up to the $100 entrance point. That's our main gripe on what happened on Commander Fest. It's just too expensive. So that's also why I think so many people didn't go.
Yeah,
There's just
Sort
too
of-
much.
because you don't want to go
siphoning of
out
money.
of town and just go for one day. And
Yeah.
then you'd have to spend money on
It's
a
like
residence for a night. Because we
$40.
paid money on Airbnb, travel, obviously, food, drink, and then let alone the cost of the event. It would have been good if they allowed you to just play in the free-to-play area, because I feel like a lot more people would have shown up.
So wait, how
'Cause,
do
like,
they
the folks that don't-
differentiate competitive and CEDH? That's what I want to know.
Here's what they say is CDH. CDH is a format defined by the best possible decks, fast games, and tight play. Tight play.
Fast
You
play?
see a lot of that tight play here.
Fast play?
No, we're fast and loose here. We're slow and lame sometimes. But,
Slow and crippled.
yeah, exactly. This isn't just eggnog.
Check out the latest Brew Wars.
So think you're up to
Oh
the
my
task.
God.
Bring your A game and see if your best commander deck has what it takes. So I'm assuming to avoid any controversy, they didn't establish what the best possible decks were as a point of entry, or rather a barrier of entry. It was really up to your discretion which event you decide to sign up for. And one thing to bear in mind is I think the prize pool was slightly better for cEDH, and it was $5 more. So 25 as opposed to 20 of the competitive. Let's throw out competitive as an event style. Let's just make cEDH $20. Why are we running? What's the difference between competitive and cEDH? I feel like there was a lot of confusion amongst even event attendees that did that, because a lot of folks were playing in the competitive brackets and telling me that, you know, my Urza just swamped everyone, and I felt bad because they were playing what were legitimately casual decks in a competitive event, which is an odd problem to have. Like, why would you even run? Maybe it was just to have enough events for people to sign up for on the hours, but just run another cEDH event there instead. Run another Oathbreaker.
Just name it something different instead of saying
EDH and cEDH. That's.
If you want to make it more, instead of I'm going to pay to have money, which was casual, that was the orientation they went for. Instead of saying, oh, I'm gonna do casual, competitive cEDH, say for example, cutthroat casual, or something serious casual, something a different denomination than the name you have a tier above. It doesn't make sense. Just change the name. Everyone's happy. Everyone understands what's going on. Because if you say competitive EDH and then cEDH, those are literally the same thing.
Yeah.
At least in wording, the C stands for competitive, which doesn't make sense.
Do you feel
Is
like
that what that is?
Do you feel like this is a problem because this is not like a sanctioned format? Like EDH is a format, but cEDH is just kind of like
It's a sub-format.
it's a sub format. So
Yeah.
it doesn't have its own ban list. It's not going to get its own ban list. They don't want their own ban list. So the problem is it gets classified as EDH, and now you have someone trying to tell you what it is.
Well, if you watch our previous video on what is competitive
through that.
commander, you know that I feel there really is no such thing as competitive commander. So we could easily just make this EDH, and again, like you said, competitive EDH, like a list that's tuned to play at a higher speed and or stifle and stop your opponents more directly, right? And obviously, asymmetrically, symmetrically, whatever your list is doing, it's probably running Deafening Silence or something to stop people from playing the game, and then you winning out over top of them, and whatever that strategy is. I think that we've muddied the waters here with the amount of events we've put out. I think we can strike one of these and just run EDH, competitive EDH.
Yeah, that's it.
Right.
That's it.
Agree.
Yep.
Agree.
Yeah, and then obviously there would be no
It would
questions about the
decrease a
bans
lot of
list.
confusion.
Yeah, and that was one of the main problems that we had when we attended. On the whole, though, I think it was fine. I think the prize wall was fine. Instead of like Japanese or Italian packs, can you just give me like older packs that are out of rotation or something? I don't know. It would have been.
That's an SCG thing. That's different.
I guess.
they rotate between each event. So,
But they're the ones hosting it. I think on the whole, was the prize wall good for you?
for me, it was fine.
Yeah.
Nothing too crazy. It's like I didn't expect to actually go use the prize wall because again, we got so few tickets with everything. The vouchers each got us like what 60 something.
I think it amounted to like
Something like
60 a
that.
pop.
So
Something.
it wasn't really that much. What can you get with $60? $60.
We wound up
we
just
got
getting a bunch
packs.
of packs. Yeah, a bunch of
Allegiance, just for the Shocklands and Smothering Tide, which I got one.
Yeah.
That was dope.
So like overall, like, do you think this is even worth it as like a thing, like
A player?
CommandFest? Or like, why is
no.
it better than going to like a GP or Magic Fest and just
No.
playing for free?
No.
It's not.
No.
Okay.
No, only because of the entrance cost. If it didn't cost $100 to get in, if it, for example, oh, you're going there, do you want a Soul Ring? You pay something like that's the entrance if you want.
Okay.
Or if you want, just go in and play. Because
I forget, man. Was part of the draw that they had, I guess, pseudo celebrity Magic World people there?
Yeah, it was like the Brian, the Professor,
Sheldon, Sheldon Menery was there. Those were free to do. You just had to wait in a line, so far as I understood. I didn't try to pick up any games with any individuals that were there.
the Professor
But they-
wasn't on Sunday though.
Yeah, they had their own tables essentially nearer the front area, and you could wait in line to play games with them. So I guess that's part of the cost of admission. Yet there were certain aspects of the event that were closed off to the general public. Like you could pay for a party on that first day where you could actually spend time with them casually and talk with them, which I assume is what you want to do when you're sitting down to play a game with them. It's fun discussing their decks with them, but these are people you watch consistently. I'm sure you want to pick their brains about certain things that are happening, and an environment like that would have been more conducive instead of a game floor where people are literally. And I felt bad for anyone that wanted to talk with Sheldon Menery about Commander, because he was engrossed in games the whole time, so that kind of sucked.
Actually, I think on Saturday morning or Sunday morning,
They had like a private
session on probably like 20 people.
Yeah.
I
Like a
think-
panel?
Just something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Braden got invited for like chatting or something.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And for some reason it was only like 20 people,
And it wasn't
completely exactly
unbroadcasted.
unannounced.
That would have been cool
nothing.
to have a panel that anyone could attend.
Yes,
Yeah.
at
you
least
can watch.
tell them like, oh, we're gonna discuss about this. We're gonna discuss our philosophies.
Yeah.
What's going on? What do we like? What do we not like? Why do guys keep complaining about Flash and Thrasios?
Yeah, but it was
I
a
don't know.
round table too. It wasn't just someone talking down or at you. It actually opened the floor, so far as I understand, to questions from the audience, engagement from Sheldon, of course. If you don't know who that is, he's one of the heads of Commander, one of the guys that
The
made it.
audience was 20 people.
Something like that. Braden told me
It was a
like
small.
20.
It was which was
really
odd
small.
because there was like
Not
a couple
broadcasted,
hundred people
okay.
there. I think the organization on the whole could have been better for something like that. Honestly, a big draw for me. It was instead of strike the competitive event, and instead in that slot or whatever that hour was supposed to be, just say, hey, there's going to be a panel in the back in a room that's corded off, and if you want to come, you paid $100 to be here for these 3 days. You can attend this session in the morning for free.
Or
have
if you
some
go- if
food
you go
or
to
drink out in the
fr-
front.
Even if you go to the
Yeah.
day pass, just like, oh, you only
That
for
would be
day pass,
awesome.
pay $10.
Yeah.
Just $10, something.
Extra Commander events.
Yeah,
Like
like-
events, not
But
just
they
games.
didn't have to be
it's talking
games.
about our format.
Yeah.
Exactly. They didn't have to be games.
That's nice. Okay.
But it sounded like that thing only happened once, and it was unannounced, which was odd. I honestly forgot that occurred. Someone we play games with occasionally was at the event. He got to attend this. Unfortunately, I would have loved to have gone too. I think that should be more of a thing at these events for
Yeah.
Commander players,
Yeah.
especially
Yeah.
if you're going to
Yeah.
invite all these personalities out to your games. We weren't invited; we just attended, but it would have been great in the future. SCG would totally be down to have a table and play games with people, but have these people talk to your audience. Like, that's part of the reason why they're coming in and paying. They don't want to wait in line to talk with someone. It'd be great if that there was time sanctioned or set aside for you to actually engage your content creators that way. Kind of sucks it wasn't. Not to my understanding. I didn't see.
I just
didn't
wish
see it.
they actually wake up on this, or they realize the mistake they did on this, because they dropped the ball. It was big. I really don't think that actually playing a game with Sheldon was really that interesting for me. Because again, as you said, I'd rather pick his brains on some random idea instead of saying like, oh, you're playing some random deck, like, which is fine. I completely understand it. But I didn't go there just to go play some games. If I want to play games, I just go to another pod and get some games.
Well, I think they're starting to realize, because all these products coming in this pipeline for 2020, they realize that Commander is the main draw. That's what gets players
it's
into
the biggest
game.
format in Magic right
It's
now.
the biggest format. And I think coming into 2020, we're going to see some changes.
We're gonna see a lot of changes,
Yeah.
a lot of stuff.
So on that note, I mean, my future hopes for any sort of CommandFest moving forward is that they reduce the ticket cost or even just make it free. Like, if you're going to have me pay to play in events, I don't mind buying vouchers if all I want to do is play pickup games. But so far as I can tell, there wasn't any real perceivable value there. Also, holding and hosting events where your personalities and folks that are coming in, people doing cosplay, maybe have an exhibition for them, the folks that are working on YouTube to provide content for folks like us, it'd be great to give them a panel where they can chat with an audience that's paying to see them, or better yet, again, not paying to attend this event. Or if you wanted to do it, you can just make that $20 a pop because there's limited seating in the back, whatever the scenario is. I think that would have been better moving into 2020.
Yeah, if there's like an entrance fee to even like attend this panel, like I'm
Like-
sure you would have done that still. If it was a
Like,
low
make it a
entrance fee,
GP, make it an actual
That would've
GP.
been cool.
Yeah, that would be amazing, especially for something that is only centric around one format.
Yeah.
And they even had to milk it with 3 different formats just to make sure they covered everything.
Yeah.
So this is just like they started playing around with
This
things.
is the prototype.
Yeah.
Of what it can
yeah,
be.
Yeah.
Yeah, but definitely changes to come. And so far as 2020 is concerned, like Justin said, this is a huge year for Commander players. Generally speaking, we only get one Commander-centric product, a set that is specifically for Commander players. despite there being sets that come out, like Modern Horizons was the big one this year. There's a lot of great cards for Commander players in that set, but it wasn't intended for us. However, 2020, there was a bunch of product coming out that is specifically tailored towards Commander players. So I want to talk about our hopes looking at this future product. So far as I understand, some of these are just glorified reprints, a la Spellbook. So one of the things I guess we can chat on now, which is most like the Spellbook series, is the Commander Collection. So Commander Collection Green. It's to my understanding that Gavin Verhey really likes green, so maybe that's why they started there. But essentially, it's going to be a predetermined pack of cards that gives you a valuable reprint. So what are our expectations
Like
there,
a spell book,
boys?
basically,
Yeah.
right? Okay.
Any good reprints we're hoping for?
I mean, they already
Anything-
spoiled Yisun.
Well, at least a Yisun
Crater Hoof.
specific
Crater
card.
Hoof.
If you saw the art for it, I think it
Crater
was.
Hoof,
I think it was
yes.
like
Yeah.
Court of Calling.
Crater Hoof.
Is my guess. But Crater Hoof Behemoth, do we need another print? Is
It's
it
like
just a
30,
one?
40 bucks.
Yeah.
Is he really?
Yes!
Okay.
It wins.
So Crater Hoof Behemoth, Sylvan Library, because you never have enough of those.
Yeah,
That was in a Commander Arsenal, wasn't it? Yeah.
Random card that should get a reprint. Miri's Guile.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's two printings. There's Tempest, and then
And
there's the Judge.
promo,
right?
Judge promo. I have
It's
the Judge
Urza's,
promo.
actually, I think.
Urza's?
I think it's Urza's Saga.
Tempest or Urza's Saga? Let us
One
know
of
in the
those,
comments
yeah.
below.
I think it's Urza's Saga, and I think it's on the reserve list, and that's why it's not been reprinted yet. But that should also be reprinted. Stuff like
Doubling season.
Doubling Season again.
You could. It's still like
It's
a
still
20,
$50 bucks.
$30 card. Yeah. It's
I don't
expensive
know
card.
why.
Well, I mean, they don't have a suggested retail price for their products anymore, and they're starting to do direct-to-consumer sales. I think that they should just pick out, if they want to help new players into this format of theirs, they should pick out the cards that have limited prints and or are expensive prints and provide those to players, because otherwise, you know, if you can't afford the $20 or $30 for like a Sylvan Library, it'd be great to get a pack of cards. Let's just say it was $40 to get these, and maybe one's randomly foiled, or if they're going to follow the spellbook style, right? And then you just get the rest non-foil. Fantastic. Original art, really cool. And of course, like they did with Secret Lair, which I bought into, I bought the Bitter Blossom set. If it's anything like that, make it to order. You know, don't leave people hanging and then try to recoup their trust by sending them like foil art sheets or whatever happened with the mess of all those things that happened last year with the Planeswalker sets, where like we tried to buy what on eBay?
Oh, is the Mythic edition?
Oh, what are the Mythic editions, right? Like it was they oversold the product and then they had to double back on confirmations of sales and just not provide them product because they didn't.
Was there another that actually went below the sales, so they had to change the stocks midway? It was a mess. It was a mess.
That was a
whole
mess.
mess,
That was a mess.
but-
Just do it made to order. Just do it made to order and use the same group you used last time for the Secret Lair.
No.
The problem with
Actually,
Secret
no,
Lair though is there's a 24-hour window, right?
Yeah.
So this should just be like the spellbooks. Like we're gonna produce a bunch,
Okay.
I just
and
wish they didn't sell
we're
them.
gonna print a lot of it.
You wish
because
they
we want to
didn't sell
get
these?
everybody into EDH
I
in
want
general, and that's what
duplicates
people
of
want.
staples. I want duplicates
Yeah.
of staples. I want new original art, and the art from this is looking really great. But you don't think we should have?
No.
Any of
Don't
these?
get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. I just don't think they should sell them directly.
Okay.
Why? Because this is a completely side note that has had nothing to do with EDH, so you can ignore the next minute of me ranting. So you can go ahead. My main gripe with this of them selling directly is that LGS are suffering because they don't get revenue from the items anymore. They just say, oh, you know what, LGS, screw you. You're just only gaming now. So
I
they
don't think they're gonna do that for this.
yeah, they're already cutting everything.
No. For
I don't think they're gonna
for the
change.
spell for these like
I don't think it's gonna
Commander
change.
Set Green. You think they're gonna sell it directly? I
Yeah.
don't think so.
They're
All
already close to everywhere, so.
WPN
Anyway.
stores will get the regular edition, which contains all 8
Regular
cards and
edition.
non-foil.
So there's a premium edition?
WPN premium stores will also get a blinged out premium
Oh,
version, which contains all 8 cards in foil. Oh, so all 8 will be in foil. Okay.
Okay.
Very cool. I'll leave a link in the description to WotC's page on the new Commander releases for next year, so you guys can review it. I went along and watched the Command Zone press release for the set. I know they coordinated with their team to shoot that. So they clued you in on a little bit. There seems to be a little bit more information here, though, that I missed or I just forgot. But, Commander Collection. It's happening. It's a thing. They're going to run through all the colors, probably do it on a yearly basis. I don't mind it. What's really interesting is Ikoria Commander,
Which
which
hang on one second. What was collections? Like
8-card set.
anthology, something like that?
What's it?
Anthology? Commander Anthology?
No, it's called Commander Collection
Yeah,
Green.
That's the past.
Yeah,
Oh,
and then
that's
there was
the
Commander,
collection.
and there was
No,
Commander
no.
Arsenal, and there's Commander. There was other sets for
Yeah.
Commander players.
No, the
Yeah.
one that has like the 4 decks. I thought it was like that.
Yeah,
Sorry.
No, no.
I dropped the ball.
What's interesting is that they're going to have a lot of Commander pre-constructed product moving for you.
You dropped
But
the K.
Ikoria Commander. So instead of having 4 new decks for Commander players, they're going to have 5 new decks, and there's 71 new cards coming out for said decks. If I'm not mistaken, this is the one that they're going to play on older themes that they might not have flushed out thoroughly, like energy as a component of the game, things of that nature, to where you can have like an energy-based deck. And again, in a 99-card singleton list, that's rather difficult, but I'm curious to see how they accomplish that. And hopefully we get some new cards out of the 71 brand new cards that are going to be viable in Commander.
Bring back Storm.
What
Yes.
I like the most about this, though, is it's going to be... You can play these at the pre-release.
But yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
true.
That is awesome. So I can go for the pre-release to draft, play sealed, or just straight up play Commander.
Yeah.
It's great. Like, I would do that. We
Down,
can totally
yeah,
play that at the
down,
pre-release.
yeah.
Outside of that, there is also
Even
Zendikar
more.
Rising Commander decks, which it sounds like are just it's packs for players to get into the Commander series, if that's something they haven't gotten into yet. I just encourage you to rifle through your old commons, uncommons, and bulk rares, and you just make a Commander list out of that. If this is essentially just a glorified version of that. But it's to be a tag-along product with something else that's releasing later that year. So we're launching 2 decks with Zendikar Rising. So there's going to be 2, and these are going to be the starters. Not much to say about this. I'm assuming it's going to be packed with like essentially core set cards and things that you're just going to want to have in a Commander pack. You know, it's going to give you a Swords to Plowshare or Path to Exile likely. But the one thing product-wise that I think most of us should be excited about is the Commander Legends that's going to be coming out. So they have a whole set releasing for Commander players that's going to be a draftable Commander experience, which is unique. I don't think it's likely been done before. I've never drafted Commander, but as I understand, there are people that have made Commander cubes to draft. If you don't know what a cube is, it's just a predetermined amount of cards, fixed number like 600, 800, whatever the quantity, and you sit down with 4 players and you just draft it like you typically would draft and build a Commander out of it. So there'd be an excess of legendary cards. So to fill that void, all they're stating that I see thus far is that there's over 70 brand new legends that are going to be in the set.
That's huge.
Not to mention legends that have come out prior, right?
I mean, why I was really surprised. War of the Spark gave us so many things.
I know.
Like that block, that Ravnica block gave us so much stuff in legendaries. All the Planeswalkers, all the dual colors, so much.
I
Really?
mean, 70 new legends. I hope we get some new, really viable monocolor.
We'll see. And I think my biggest hope for this, outside of it being a fun draft experience, is to find legendaries that will encourage players to play outside of the typical list, at least in the competitive Commander spectrum, out of the typical partners list and or consult list. Maybe we get something that steers the direction of the meta somewhere else, because it's sort of just swamped with that. I mean, I can say when I was at CommandFest, most of the lists I played against were, if they were a top tier list, some variation of Thrasios and Tymna, which is fine.
Gets boring really fast.
It does get a little boring, so hopefully with 70 brand new legends, we're going to see more Commanders come out of the fold. But specifically, I do want to state that Commander Legends has 20 card packs with a foil and 2 legendary creatures in every single pack.
It's for drafting, specifically.
Yeah, so there's no...
It's gonna be a mess for drafting.
You think
You're
so?
drafting like 70, 80 cards. If you're doing the like face down like normal draft, how do you remember all this stuff you have? Like your curve and all that? It's gonna be crazy.
I draft a lot. I draft Power Cube. I don't always remember what's in the pack that I'm passing. Let's be honest.
No.
With those,
I'm just so happy to be playing
But I'm not saying
with
the
Commander.
packs
It's
you're
like,
passing. I'm saying your picks.
oh, your picks?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. You need to be making the deck as you go, and if you're thinking 60, 70 cards or more,
Yeah,
it's gonna be crazy.
Yeah,
That's
that's
what I'm saying.
that's actually a lot of interactions and
That's
stuff.
what- that's
Well,
what I'm
maybe
thinking.
they keep it simplified. I don't know.
or just you can look whether you're
And this is
drafting.
where they
I don't know.
reprint the fetches.
Oh no.
Hey, I
no.
wouldn't mind. Like, I mean, if it's really that much of a hassle. Well, what's
Then
funny
we'll
is
do
like,
that. Oh, no,
and
please
likely
no.
not, but it'd be great. I mean, to make a valid 4 to 5 color list out of your deck while you're drafting, if you just prioritize those fetch lands, and you would be if you were drafting at a local game store. Me personally, I'm probably going to buy a box or two for us to jam, and maybe we'll produce some content of us drafting that for you guys.
Yeah.
Maybe a little breakdown as to how to do that. I don't know if the format's going to be drafted differently than other sets because there's 20 cards, but
They want to
otherwise-
reduce shuffling, and there's no way they're going to introduce more shuffling during a store-sanctioned event.
Is that
like
something they've
drafting.
stated? Like
Yeah,
specifically
they
stated?
really do want to get away from shuffling.
That's why they created Pioneer.
Yeah, there's no fetches.
That's-
That's
Oh.
not fetches. Well,
Okay.
it has Fabled Passage, which is
Okay.
the reason it's 20 something is because Pioneer.
Yeah.
I don't know why it's 20 something, but I guess I just said it because Pioneer. I guess that's why.
Let me see here.
Hot take. Hot take. This draftable set, this is an idea I got when we were coming back from DC.
Yeah.
We are going to see, and this is my hope. This is nothing like assured or anything I heard. Rumors, no. This is all me.
Okay.
We are gonna see Planeswalkers as commanders again.
A bunch of them.
Yeah. At least
I
one
think
for
they
every
might have
color.
hinted
Yes.
that. I think they might have actually hinted at that.
Yeah. We as players, we were bothering them a while back to make Planeswalkers legals as commanders a while back.
Yeah.
There was there's always noise about that, and I think this might bring them back. Just don't make the free again, man.
It's a nice design.
Just
space.
don't make the free again, please. No, I don't want to suffer that again.
I want Oko as the commander. No, here's the thing though. I actually really like that conceptually because there's a lot of lists where your commander is strictly an outlet and or it sees little to no play outside of some sort of combo.
Yo, he's hating on our man.
No, I'm not. Any list that, I mean, like my Balan list, like Balan doesn't come out until I decide to start swinging. It's great when you have a Planeswalker that just adds value to the list. I think the closest thing they've got to that was Lord Windgrace. I think he was the closest thing to just a value commander in the command zone in Jund, which is really cool. Like, you didn't have to strategize a win around Lord Windgrace being around. He just helped you get to that win.
Well,
Right.
a minute ago, the Esper one was kind of, I think, a win-con with the cat and.
Are you talking about the familiar? The Cauldron familiar?
No.
The seven cannon one?
Felidar Garden, the blinking cat.
Which,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
girl is this? Is it the...
Esper. It's Esper one.
Yeah.
It's the one that goes infinite ETBs with those, and then you can
Nobody plays
alter
it,
the brood,
unfortunately.
and that's a win. It's dumb, but it's a win.
Okay.
It's something. I mean, so it's not all of them. They're not bad, but I'm guessing they should revisit that and make them kind of better.
Amanatu.
That's what I said.
Probably butchered that name. Oh, you said the name?
Yes.
Aminatu?
Aminatou. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Okay.
But I'm thinking we'll see them. That's my hope for 2020. See Planeswalkers back. Get your chain builds now.
You really expect the chain belt price to go? We'll see.
If it's your commander and it's like, oh, I can activate it. Even if you don't go infinite like the fairy,
Yeah.
I
value.
could see it being.
It's value.
Yeah.
So on that note, moving forward, we've just briefly glazed over all the stuff that's coming out for Commander players, but more specifically, beyond the sets, because little to no information has been released about the cards, what we like to see from our favorite parts of the color pie. So this is the important discussion we're hoping to have here today, and hopefully something that WotC can get straight on some of their colors and color pairings, because there's certainly deficiencies within the colors of the color pie to Magic. I think Boros, humorously, everyone jokes that they are the worst commander colors.
because they are.
And yeah, generally speaking, they are. There isn't really a valid commander for them. I think there was maybe one with Feather, and then she was
That was
shot
too close.
down. Yeah, she flew too close to the sun. So
Her wings are clipped fast.
I know what I would like to see from my commander-based products in the coming year, but I want to throw the ball to you guys first. Is there anything you're hoping to see from any sort of color pairing or singular color? Anything you're hoping to come to the game via mechanic or just a redundancy in card effect?
I just want Paradox Engine back and ban Urza because that's the main reason.
Make aggro viable. Make aggro viable. When this creature attacks, it makes a copy that's non-legendary attacking each player.
You know
Something like that.
The problem with aggro is that it's 120 life. So if you lower the life total of everyone, that will make aggro more viable.
You
That's the main
think?
issue.
Well,
That's
we're
it.
talking about rules changes, but what do you think that these colors need moving forward to help them?
That's what he said. Is incentivize going to the red zone, which you already have in Agila, so play more Agila.
Well, that's 5 color, but sure.
But it's 3 mana, you don't have to play all the colors.
Hey. Yeah, that's right. Play
See?
a half-assed version of a very competitive list. Yeah, you're not going to do that. I think,
Are you sure about that?
personally speaking, I love white. I've never felt like there's deficiency with white, but every single color outside of white has some variation of a draw, whether it be looting with blue, rummaging with red, life as a draw engine for black, and or just large creatures or creatures entering the battlefield
Just
with green.
Draw with green.
Or just draw with green, like Harmonize, Sylvan Library. There's a lot of draw outside of white. And white has the most limited value engines for draw. I think there's one called Inheritance, where whenever you cast a creature spell, you can pay 2 generic and draw a card. It's something like that. It's similar to Mentor of the Meek.
Mentor of the Meek is probably
Right.
the best.
Is the draw engine, and then I believe there's Pure Steel Paladin. Whenever equipment enters the battlefield, you draw a card.
And if you get a Metalcraft, it's equipped with zeros or whatever.
Okay, so
Or
these aren't
SRAM, same
practical.
thing.
These aren't practical. SRAM is a
But
pseudo-practical, but as a commander on the whole, drawing your list in a mono-white list doesn't really help you win a game, not necessarily. There aren't that many great combos within the mono-white family for you to...
Says the Teshar player.
Yeah, except for Teshar, because he enables combos.
Well, I know
That's
people
different.
have talked about for White's draw, like giving things. Like I will give players life so I can draw cards. I will give you tokens so I can draw cards.
Cedro? Something like that?
Something like that. Yeah, like giving people things so that they can. Like I give you 10 life so I can draw 3
Well,
cards
it
or
can't be
something.
a draw hidden behind attacks anymore.
Actually, that's a really good
I don't
idea.
think so anymore.
Yeah, I thought
Like
it was
giving,
too when I
like,
saw that.
like Nature's Claim or something, instead of saying, "Oh, I'm gonna give you
You gain
6
5 life, I draw 2 cards or
something
something.
like, or
in
1
white.
card or something." Which life in CDH, it's irrelevant.
In CDH, yeah.
It's
So if
relevant.
we're specifically talking about the product that us Commander players are going to receive, I think that's fair. Outside of that, you giving this guy 3 life and you drawing a card kind of sucks. If you're playing in a limited format outside of Commander. So it's definitely going to have to be a Commander-based product if the card specifically states each opponent gains 2 life, you draw 2 cards, something like that.
Yep.
2 seems kind of meager, even. But
No,
I
I
don't...
like 4 or 5, so
Exactly.
it has some weight.
Yeah, I don't really know what's fair for an effect like that. And it has to be symmetrical, I would assume. I mean, unless you're like, target player gains 5, target opponent gains 5 life, you draw 2 cards. Let's say that's instant speed, generic and a white, right? How many effects can you tack
I'll
onto
probably give it, like,
creatures,
3
instants,
mana.
enchantments? How many effects can you tack onto separate cards with that style of effect? I don't think that many.
But White should get draw.
One should get
Certainly,
yes.
I think what could we proffer to R&D, and you guys can leave some suggestions in the comment down below. What do you think is a fair way to give white draw? Something that works within the element of the color, makes sense for the color, obviously. I feel like everyone else has a pre-established way of drawing that really makes sense for that part of the color pie, except for white.
Say what we're discussing today. We're discussing the enchantment that on green, if you had the biggest creature, draw a card.
Yeah.
Say, for example, at the beginning of your upkeep, if you control the most creatures, draw a card. It's only you, so it's completely...
That's fair.
It's something, someone
Yeah.
has more creatures than you don't care.
Mm.
You could be like, make it 3 mana, something like a Phyrexian Arena. So you kind of have to work for it, but it gives you value. Gives the idea, gives momentum to the idea of making tokens, going sideways instead of up.
Okay, Najila. Najila.
Oh yes! Oh yeah! I just realized that. Oh my god! Yes.
Angela would be very broken
Yes.
with that.
Bias.
Well, it's only 1 card, so it's only upkeep. So I don't think it's gonna be that good, but it's something.
No, I'm trying to think. I mean, is there an effective way to say if you
also
gain
don't.
X amount of life
No,
this
don't.
turn, then draw a card? Be cool to have an enchantment that allows you to do that. At least that's within the flavor of white. They want to gain life anyways.
Or-
If there's an enchantment that you rest on the battlefield, if you gained 3 life this turn, draw a card. And you can
Or
do that on your
every
opponent's turn.
5 life you gain, draw a card. So you can do it multiple times if
Yeah.
you work for it.
Yeah.
That's something.
Well, at least in CEDH, how are you gaining life? You know,
You nature's claim your own shit.
No.
Either Flex
No.
Reservoir.
Either flux,
at
but we're
least
already
for
going
our
off.
format, we really.
I'm
I think
doing
giving things
Agila.
is
I'm
more
doing Agila
viable.
and win.
I think giving things away is more viable to have you draw.
Would it be too much to have an artifact or enchantment? I know it's too much already. That's it. Sacrifice a creature. Draw a card.
That's
There
all
are
right. Sounds like black.
That sounds like black.
Deus. There's already things that allow you to sacrifice creatures. It could be something like Martyrdom. It could just be a card that it was all about self-sacrifice for the greater good, which is you. the player.
Critter gets a
But
green card.
white is,
Yeah, right.
white is all about order and stuff like that. And controlling in a sense. That's why we have the best stack
Control
pieces.
is a blue card.
Control magic is the blue card. You tried. Control magic is the blue
Yeah,
card.
white needs more of an identity for CEDH. That's what we're trying to
White
get
needs
at.
an identity.
Period.
Okay. So we know what white wants.
It draws cards. It gives token. Or sorry, it
does
gains
not
life.
draw cards.
It gains life.
Makes
It
tokens.
gives tokens. It makes
Stacks.
angels and human knights.
Yes.
and
Yes.
and it has a lot of stacks elements. It has the best variety of stacks elements. You can argue me. I think white has the best stacks.
No, it's the best stacks by a mile.
Easily. So I mean, it's certainly not deficient in a lot of other areas, but certainly in the draw area, it's hampered. Another thing I would like to see more of are efficient tutors outside of black.
I want blue tutors. I want a saga that tutors.
No,
That would be great. Why?
no, that's
Why?
so busted.
We need a useful saga.
I have
Let's start
mystical
there.
tutor.
Let's get one
I have
useful
merchant
saga.
scroll. What else do I have?
The only
Drift of Phantasms.
Transmute. Bring
Person-
back transmute would be
No,
kind of cool.
Personal
Personal
tutor.
tutor. Bring that back. Personal tutor nobody uses.
that's the problem. But
There's
because
not
no
enough
one-
good sorceries.
I know. And they have to be blue, right? Something like that.
No, maybe.
I don't.
It has to be
remember.
the same CMC. That's all for transmute.
No,
Oh, no.
personal tutor. Personal
Yeah.
tutor is one blue sorcery.
sorcery.
It goes to the top, but I think it has to be blue. I don't remember.
Don't
now.
even bother looking at it.
You can
It's not
notice
good right
how
now.
much we play the card. We don't even know what it does.
Give me a saga that tutors. That would be really
If it's
cool.
the third chapter, I'm down. The two being, I don't know, something pointless. The third one is at the beginning. It's on. No, but it's
Interesting.
after the roster though.
We'll see how they
Would
balance
you
it, but I would like
you
that.
play a instead of like a diabolic edict effect? How about an effect in red that was one generic, one red, instant or sorcery that said as additional cost, discard a card, search your library for a card, and put it in your hand for
Yes.
2 mana.
That would be so
Yes.
busted.
But that makes sense. That
does.
makes sense
But
within
it's
red.
so busted.
I mean, it's going to feed into a lot of the
Reanimator.
reanimator strategies that you want to play anyways, but let's just get this straight. We're playing 99 card singleton here. So having a valid... There's very few times where I discarded a card via a rummage effect, and it was something that was a reanimate target. There's usually a lot of setup involved in this. So if you... I mean, like, and the thing you're shooting for is probably the reanimate target anyways, unless... in that magic scenario where you have this card, you drop the reanimate target and you find the reanimate. That's really the
That's the
dream
combo.
here. That's the dream here. But that's still you playing 2 cards and having an additional one in hand. You know, I don't think that's that broken. I don't think it's that broken.
You know why it's not really broken?
You have to play it
No.
on someone else's turn.
No, you know why it's not
There
really
you go.
broken? Because it's red,
Yeah,
and you can't play in Trash Timber.
there we go.
That's the biggest thing.
Okay.
It's actually the biggest thing, and it will be a huge buff to Bloodborne.
Yeah.
Like stupidly buff.
Or just any lists that are trying to incorporate red. Because like we were talking off camera earlier, think about the list where you run red. How many cards you actually splash in for red? How many cards? Wheel of Fortune, Gamble,
Pyroblast.
Pyroplast, Red Elemental Blast,
And reds,
perhaps.
you can call them same card.
Yeah. Fire
Yeah.
Covenant. Fire Covenant.
That's black
Fire
and red.
Covenant is
No, we're talking about
round,
mono
yeah.
red.
Mono red.
But
Mono
like
red,
mono
yeah.
red itself.
Maybe
but-
gamble.
We said that. We said that.
I mean, really.
Reforge the Soul if you really needed another.
No.
If you needed another wheel, but if you're doing dual color, likely use Reforge the Soul. If you're using 3 colors, there's probably better engines to go through your list without feeding everyone else
But
7
we're
more
discussing
cards
cards
too.
that would fit into any deck that will play red. Anything. Anything.
But tell me, like that card I just described would certainly be a tutor that would fit into lists.
anything.
Yeah.
Anything that plays red will play the card. 100%.
We certainly need
Easily.
more efficient tutors outside of black. And even white is lacking in that front too. We have Enlightened Tutor. We have
Idyllic Tutor. Oh my god, no.
3 CMC for an enchantment
out.
that goes to your hand. We have Steel Shaper's Gift, which is for equipment.
And
They're very
auras.
niche tutors.
No, wait. All equipments? Or auras?
They're just Steel Shaper's Gift is just equipment, and then there
Open
is
the Armory.
Open Armory, which
There you
is auras and equipment, right? So we are limited on our effective tutors in white as well, but again, Boros being those colors that are generally lacking on the efficiency front, it would be great to see those colors given more efficient tutors.
I agree.
And how they devise that, I don't know. I think as a possible solution, the sort of rummage to find is okay. It makes sense for
nice,
red.
though. I think Transmute coming back would be cool.
Transmute as a mechanic with a reduced cost. Transmute as a mechanic with the same
So
cost.
expensive though.
3 is a lot.
and sorcery. That's
I know.
my problem.
You have to do sorcery. Yeah.
You can do it. I don't mind raising the cost if it's an instant. If it's, say, for example, Mother and Mixture, it's 3 colors. It's blue, and a colorless to transmute as a sorcery.
Yeah.
It's way too much. I don't mind if I say, like, oh, end step, pay 5 or 6, transmute model for, I don't know, stick or the dramatic, and just win.
But once again, they're trying to get away from shuffling. So tutors in the pipeline is probably not the most realistic thing to expect.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
that's
really a fair assessment.
That's unfortunate because it's something our format really wants, but it's probably not something our format really needs.
Well,
no, it's not something.
At least for the generalized EDH community.
True.
What I would like to see though is more things like Leadership Vacuum in Blue, where it targets a player and it says they return each commander. So things that target multiple commanders, like if you're not going to get rid of partners and you're not going to add to their tax and they're not going to share to the tax, at least things that target multiple commanders that player controls is really cool. I really like that.
Just to note our idea on what was the commander's share tax is partners, they share the same tax. So for example, you played Tyrna, then you played Thrasios, you killed one, then the next time that costs 2, if you kill the other, that one costs 4 instead of 2 extra, for example.
Yeah, but what I liked about Leadership Vacuum is it's like unexplored design space where you can have more than one commander. It's strictly hating on those type of things.
Yeah, they can actually say, while we're talking about playing less commanders, more incentivize people to not play partners is the thing they did with Battle Bond lands, when if you have more than 2 opponents enters untapped, stuff like that. If you control only one commander, for example, just do something crazy, which incentivizes you to not play partners. But it has to be a strong effect because you need to play it in CEDH. If not, you won't even touch the card.
But you don't want a commander with an effect that would state if you have 2 or more opponents, then such and such an effect is granted
That's
to you.
already there.
You would want that?
No, that's already there. It's in Battle Bond. What I'm saying is,
Well,
it
for
should be
your
something
commander specifically though, like a luxury suite that comes into play untapped. Let's say your commander when it ETBs if you have 2 or more opponents, or if your opponents have if there's 2 or more commanders against you. I get what you're saying though. Having things that specifically work against the commanders your opponents control. There aren't that many of those things. It'd be cool to see different variations of those effects on cards outside of this instant speed bounce. Right? Definitely agree with that. Yeah. As to what that could be, I don't really know. What would be fair for a commander to have that's, commander countering? I don't know.
Kill target commander in black. But you already have everything. It's black. It's removal. So, but you can probably go something like that. Like,
Do you think we're going to see new partners in this this legend set?
Oh no. If they do, they have to be super watered down.
Well, Battle Blonde had partners and they're pretty watered down.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah,
But that's also because they weren't
designed specifically for
English.
commander.
No, it's because each one was only one color. So you can only play a Guile instead of like a Chromium thing here, which is 4 colors. Insanity.
Lastly, the thing we want to close on is what you can expect from the channel moving forward, the 99 crew, where we'll be, and obviously the kind of content we'll be providing. So I guess the first thing I want to touch on, sort of a big thing for the channel. You might have noticed in the description of our videos now that we are affiliated with TCG Player. Check it out. Some of you guys have asked how you can support the channel. Well, that's the best way to do so on this road to economic independence. If you want to help us do more of this, then you can do so by buying your cards from TCG Player. I buy a lot of my stuff in bulk there if you want the best price, because it's just a marketplace of people throwing stuff up out there, trying to compete for the best price. It's great. But on that note, my goal ideally moving forward is to have 2 episodes a week, whether they be performed and scripted content and or a stream for you all, or just our Brew Wars, deck techs, all the range of shows we've featured thus far. And I'm also hoping to incorporate interviews into our segments here. Some of you might know I run another channel on YouTube where I do interviews. I want to bring that same interview style to the Magic community. I think we definitely deserve it, and I would love to be able to sit down and talk to some people on Magic-based content. But we also want to visit some of the GPs that are coming up, and obviously more
Jersey. Next month, only 1 month, and we got Jersey.
January, 23rd, 24th, or something like that? Yeah,
Yeah.
we're going.
Yeah,
We're going. It's
I'm
close.
It's right there. Are we even getting the Airbnb?
I want an Airbnb.
So the plan is this, of getting an Airbnb like we did in DC, which was an amazing experience, so much fun, so much alcohol, so much plays.
Yeah.
So many misplays also.
I didn't get to go to that.
That was great.
Sorry about that, man.
So hey, maybe you'll get experience now. That's the plan. Go
I hope
crazy.
so. I hope so, but I hope to see a lot of people there play.
Yes, we had a blast. I
Great
definitely
cEDH.
Oh yeah. Oh,
definitely
yeah.
want to get like a mansion near the event center and just have a bunch of people over to play. That's sort of
maids?
my ideal goal.
That'd be great.
With maids, male maids, ideally.
Sebastian?
Martine, all the finest of the male maids in New Jersey to serve us.
But when it's not New Jersey, we're going to Toronto.
Yes, that is also a major plan. I know some of our fans on the Discord
Magic
from
Fest Toronto.
Canada.
Oh, it's gonna be great.
We're talking to us about that. Obviously, we would love to attend if we can make that a part of our itinerary for the new year. We all have jobs outside of providing this content, clearly.
Real life.
Yeah, real life sucks, but it does pay the bills. So, if we can make it out, I believe in May, if you're going to be in Toronto, please let us know. You can do so in the comment section here, or obviously the Discord is generally the best way to contact us directly. But hopefully we see you there.
Toronto's gonna be great.
Otherwise,
So many people's gonna be there. It's gonna be great.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
the high level people that are in cEDH, stuff like that. That's gonna be great.
ready to crush them all and to have the worthy, the chosen, the Dread Horde champion.
No. You're Salvala.
Savala, probably.
Let's be real.
Savala,
triplets?
probably.
Ernesto's brewing some triplets.
Yeah. I'm brewing Lysolda.
It's a kind of really weird list. I need to test a lot. I might be refined enough for Toronto. I have no idea.
That's
Well,
refined 2020
Woo,
Ernesto.
dang, that's a while away. Get it refined before then. You got time.
You underestimate my laziness.
Well, guys, I'm going to be busy with a lot of deck techs moving forward. If
Yeah.
all of the legendaries that are coming out really do compete, well, then, of course.
And our set reviews have been awesome. Let's do more of that.
Yeah.
No,
No,
yeah,
Oh my
when
God.
Wizards-
Commander's set review will probably be 4 hours. If they're
Yeah.
good. If
The
they're good.
Legends one, the draftable one,
Yeah.
that's gonna be, oh my
That's
god.
gonna be a big set
We'll
review.
probably need to camp at Patrick's
Two
place.
parts? 2 parts?
2 parts, probably 3.
We'll see.
We'll see how viable.
Well, we could do a day on individual colors and then multicolors.
Oh my god. That would be spicy.
Or we can do like commons, uncommons, and then rares, mythics.
We can actually say like, okay, we have this,
That'd be cool.
the set review now. Don't expect content for the next month.
Yeah, exactly. The whole month is just going to be a large review. But guys, obviously, if there's something that you feel like you're missing in your content enjoyment, let us know what that is, and hopefully we can provide that for you. It's my goal to also bring more sketch work to the show. Justin and I did a brief episode called The Deck Doctor. Obviously, you guys keep submitting lists to us. Please continue to do so. I do look over them. Whether we get to them is just a matter of timing. We do have two...
Actually, sometimes I stream with some of the people in the Discord, and we go over the Deck Doctor's list. Some have stipulations like budget, or I want to have more interaction, or have more colors, and I threw them back. And at least from the feedback I got, they had like pretty well received. So I should also be getting back into
you should
that.
stream. It's cool.
I know.
Yeah.
I just want more people to be there, give ideas. I know when I brewed Kefnet live, that was bad. That was bad.
I was there.
You were there, but it's not because the deck itself was bad.
Okay.
Yeah.
I tried it, it wasn't good. But the main gripe I'm saying is, oh my god. What I'm saying is I should go back to streaming. I will coordinate with this guy, so maybe we can share the same channel, or I'll probably use my personal one. I don't really care. I just want to have interaction with people, talk with people, brew, and create random decks because I love that.
Yeah, and that's also my intention for the channel here too. I know I discussed it a few months back. Folks were asking if that was something that was going to be on YouTube. I do want to stream. I actually have all the gear to do that, and I have a whole studio to shoot in. But it would just be me like Sunday morning getting my brew on, because I do brew a lot of lists. There's a lot of lists you guys just don't see. There's maybe like 20 decks that I've made and just hit the floor because they just weren't up to snuff. And I'm working on like 2 lists right now that may or may not be great. Lysolda and Zergo. So, to walk you guys through that process and of course get your help would be great. And
I brewed Flip Chandra. You
Yeah.
don't get any worse than that.
That's
Let's be honest.
that's up there.
I don't.
go.
I mean, I like
brew
Lysolda, but
that
she's an
bad.
outlet. But that's about it. You need infinite mana, and it's not easy to get to. Dockside Extortionist, those loops, not easy to get to in Rakdos. Maybe if we had a tutor that allowed me to discard him and finally reanimates.
At least you had a Wincon. My Wincon was dealing damage. That's it.
Hey,
That's it.
that works. That works with Anafenza. If you guys were at Chantilly or CommandFest DC, as it was formerly known, you would have seen Anafenza. So expect a deck tech of her soon. She's rip roaring, and I'm loving her. And of
Jorah
course,
is coming back.
Yeah.
Jorah is coming back.
KCI.
Some people were asking me like, "Hey, are you going to make a
Shimmer.
KCI deck?" Yes.
You
The
already
deck is ready. It's
You
being
did.
tuned. Well, not a lot, but most of the stuff is being fine-tuned and everything.
Mhm.
Mostly by myself. I should really get back to the Discord where people read through the deck, but just did it by myself. Because I always had some people different like, "Oh, what about this card? What about this? And then took some ideas from everyone, made my own deck. So, in a sense, I made it.
That's the next deck tech.
Which will happen. It's actually the next deck. We're gonna be recording it soon, so
So obviously, and we get a lot of people that jump in and say they feel like they're missing something or the list is different from one of the videos. If you watch a earlier video on the channel, I used to do them in parts. I realized that lists as new sets come out are going to constantly change. So if you're 2 to 3 to 4 cards removed from what you saw showcased in the video, you're likely to see a new deck tech just to at least catch you up to speed on what the list is doing. And ideally those videos will be shorter so that you can just fill yourself in on your favorite list, whether it be Savala, Neheb, Jorah, whatever the case. Narumea, we just updated her. Someone was telling me how I didn't do a good enough job updating my primer, so we did that
even
for
I
you.
got grabbed that for the all control Jorah list.
Yeah.
I kind of need to update my all control list.
I
The
have
first
one
Jorah
primer,
list.
so I update it. On my level.
At any rate, guys, I hope you enjoy the content moving forward into 2020. Of course, look forward to all that is to come. I'm very excited for it. I hope you guys are as well.
Very.
Again,
yeah, we are.
I'm Patrick Marlette. And happy brewing, babies.
I'm the yellow cake, if you wanted to know.
Yeah, of course, Patrick is the green one because he's the green guy. I'm the red because
That's pink.
I guess I'm playing it. Oh, that's pink.
Yeah, it's pink.
Really?
It's still good though.
Whatever. I guess that's why because I'm playing Agila like lately, so kind of fits. in a
The
sense.
rose blossom? Yeah, this is rose flavored.
See, there you go.
I think so.
It fits everything. I'm Ernesto Salazar, and this guy right here is Justin Rodriguez.
Can't wait to play some more.
Oh yeah.